I'm working on the hedging now. As we can see, it's come out okay. It's got a good variation of colour, but nowhere near as gaudy or as massively different or vibrant as it was before. Put some down with a little bit of ground foam on. The rest of this is going to get a ground foam treatment in a minute. So what I've done is I've soaked it in PVA and then sprinkled on the ground foam. So this is the stuff I mixed with a little bit of water, a little bit of turmeric and dried out yesterday. So we'll come back to that in a moment. There we are. So I've sprinkled the ground foam on. It doesn't look quite as marked a difference in reality as it does on the phone at the moment, but it actually looks really good. This here looks really effective, looks quite realistic indeed. So we will see what it looks like once it's all dried and stuck down. Hopefully it will stick down enough. I'm just going to give it a little tap. This is going to push the ground foam in and it's going to push the lichen slightly more onto the baseboard. I've certainly got enough to do large quantities of bush, but I don't know if I've got enough ground foam to do it, enough leftovers. But obviously I've still got to tap the board again, so it's a case of doing it bit by bit. We go a little bit on the embankment and the junction. Looking alright, isn't it? Been sprinkled and tapped down. So that's going to do me for now. More tomorrow! It was just curiosity. I had to start now, didn't I, really? Well, 5 hours later, that's looking absolutely fantastic, I reckon. Spot on, spot on. It's stuck down. It's sprung up. Looking very hedge-like. Very happy with that. Very happy indeed. Work on that tomorrow. Well, well, well. That's all me bushes put on. So let's have a look. Here we go. There's a bunch in the corner there. Bunch down here. What I've done is built up the ballast at the side of where the sheds are. And I've joined those two inside with masking tape. This has been put there and then the glue put on. Wait for that to dry and then I can pull that away. So I'll just have the ridges in place. Then I've got hedge down the sideway there and down the back of the platform. And again over here to blend everything in. Here we've got a load here. You can see it's still wet with the PVA. Then I've broken up that centre section that I've grassed and raised into a hillock or hills, what have you. It's all a case of camouflage, isn't it? And down the back of my station halt, around the signal box there, around the back of my little country station. These buildings just popped into place for the time being. They're not properly fixed in yet, nor are the signals. There we go, I built up a bit there. Now what I have got to do is make some more ground foam because I haven't got a covering on a fair bit of this hedge. Most of it is, and where it has been covered it looks really good, really effective. Now here is especially nice, but I need some more, so I'm going to go and get myself 3 more car sponges, get the Kenwood out, whiz it all up, stick it in some paint and turmeric, and then I'll be able to put some more PVA and sprinkle that on tomorrow, which will also break up the base dark green colour that I've got and blend everything in a little bit better and give some of a less uniform kind of look, because at the moment all my grass is the same tone of dark green. So having a little bit more sponge somewhere between the yellow of the yellowy green, should I say, of the hedges, bushes, what have you, and the dark bluey green of the grass should give me something more realistic. But at the moment it's looking really good. Now this looks a bit messy, bit random, bit sporadic, but the thing is, all that's got to be is camouflage. It's got to break it up. That's all. It's just got to make it look less empty, and that, I think, it's done well. It's done that a treat. So I've just got to put my other bits and bobs in. So these I whipped down a little while ago. Where do these go? So there's should be, yeah, that goes that way round, and that goes that way round. So there we go. So and I think my grey concrete is going to get a bit of a lighter wash over it as well. This just leaves my tracks and paths. The bushes have dried a little bit. There's still a way to go, but they are looking good. Needs a bit more coverage on that because it's looking very branchy rather than covered with foliage like that. So that bit's not quite there. I put my thin white wash onto the grey, and might not show up or compare quite so well, or be quite so obvious to you guys, but that has lightened up considerably and is looking quite nice. It's also picked the texture out quite a lot more, which is very pleasing. So still waiting for the PVA to soak in a bit more. So here's looking good with the foliage cover from the ground foam, and it's lucky I made some more because this is, well, it's sticking down, but it's not got enough coverage on it. That's okay there, and here's looking okay too. So I've got to dry out the ground foam that I did today and get ready to put that on. I'm a happy bunny. So now I'm going to blend it all in. I've put a nice liberal coating of diluted PVA down. I've knocked off and brushed off some of the loose original darker green and some of the recent lighter green. So now I'm just going to sprinkle that all over with a sieve, and that's going to blend things nicely, because obviously there's a little bit of a difference in colour and contrast where I've put the freshest, newest green ground foam on. So this is the final stage of it, basically, of the grass anyway. All done, finally completed. So it's had a good sprinkling all over on the glue, been pressed down a little bit with hand. So I think that will all blend in quite nicely as it dries. There's a fair bit of glue on this, so I reckon it's going to be at least 24 hours before that's fully dry, but then I can start putting my buildings on properly, and yeah, it will be good. It will be good. We've practically come to the end.